Hi, I'm Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV. My channel is dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse get free and stay free. The other day, I did a video about a narc's inability to let us love them, and I want to talk about that a little bit more today. Many times I said to Trevor, why can't you just let me love you? Why can't you get out of our way? He was a constant obstacle in our relationship. And though I'd point that out to him, and sometimes he actually would acknowledge that to some degree, not his participation in it, but the fact that we were constantly hitting hurdles. I don't know that he ever identified himself as the source. They seem to have zero ability to take responsibility, but he would sort of acknowledge that things kept coming up, this repetition. He'd cause some epic event, I'd smooth it over, things would be okay for a little bit, and then pow, off we'd go again. So why this repetition? Can they not see this? A narc is driven by one thing and one thing only: supply. I've often made reference to a junkie. Now, a junkie is looking for a fix, and the narc is doing the same thing, and supply is that fix. So in a junkie's career as a junkie, they will go from fix to fix to fix, remembering only the fix, only that moment of getting high. Now, in between fixes, they could burglarize a house, they could rob someone, they could get beat up, they could end up in jail. All kinds of horrible things can happen, but they don't remember the horrible things. They remember only the fix. And this is exactly the same for a narcissist. They have tremendous memory impairment. Because the ultimate goal is for a junkie a fix, for a narc supply, they have so fixated on this need for either the drug or the supply that there is no memory, very, very short-term memory about what happened between hits, fixes, or supply. This lack of memory, or this inability to hold on to the memory, is actually called a predatory memory. Now, a predatory memory means they're just going to go for the supply, forget what happens between hits, exactly like a junkie. A junkie has a predatory memory. This is what makes it possible for a narc to continue abusing a victim, and often abusing them in the exact same way. Now, say it's infidelity, for example. They will not confess to the infidelity, but they will often plant seeds. So you become suspicious, you become destabilized within the relationship, and this gives them supply. You now become upset, hurt, brokenhearted, terrorized. You're not sure what's going on, what your position is in the relationship anymore. And this look of terror, this look of heartbreak or upset on your face is supply for them. So they don't want to get caught. So that will kind of smooth over. They'll go back on their best behavior. You may have threatened to leave them. You may have left them. You may have done all sorts of things, as a result of that injury they inflicted on you. But they do it again. They don't remember the threat of you losing. They don't remember the damage that was caused in the relationship. They don't remember how the relationship stopped moving forward and got dragged backwards. They don't remember any of that. They remember the fix, the hit, that gaining of supply from hurting you. And that's why they just keep on in this bizarre repetitive behavior. So if you're wondering if the narc can be fixed, if you're wondering if this can be improved upon, or you're missing them or longing for them or believing things can be different in the future, it cannot. They can't stop it. They have no memory of it. It's not impacting them in any way. They're just chasing supply, like junkies looking for a fix. A narc has got real short-term memory, a real memory impairment. They lack social intelligence, and since they don't see us as unique individuals, we are just part of society, and all of society is open game. All of it is a hunting ground for these predators. So unable to take responsibility makes it so easy for them to continue in this pattern. I'm sure that any one of you would agree that the abuse was repetitive. And it got to the point with Trevor where it was just so repetitive, so bizarre. I would say to him, like, can you truly not see this pattern? And he would just get this bizarre narc smirk on his face, like somehow there was a gain for him. There was something in getting away with this repetitive behavior. So how do we stop it? Well, if you're still with the narc, you start to plan a solid exit strategy. If you've left the narc, go no contact. Now, I know some of you have kids, and some of you have said you must remain in contact. Well, this is not true. This is absolutely a lie. And it's unfortunate that you've come to believe this, because you are allowing yourself to be continuously injured, continuously harmed by this thing. You can get an advocate. You can get your sister, a friend, the courts, a police station, anyone to mediate any interaction that you would likely have to have with them. Everything that comes out of their mouth is a lie. They're chronic, habitual, pathological liars. And possibly the narc has said to you, hey, we've got kids. You need to stay in touch with me. Well, you may have to continue to interact with them, but you don't have to do it directly. You can cut them off. You can have someone mediate these interactions. If you're involved in distribution of assets, likely you have a lawyer. Tell them, do not contact me. Have your lawyer contact my lawyer. I don't want to talk to you. The fact that you have co-parented with a narcissist does not forever condemn you to this abuse. There are ways around this, and I do believe it's very important at this point for victims to become very active, really proactive in protecting yourself from this. This constant abuse, this constant opening of the portal to hell is going to end up wreaking havoc on your life. And this brings me to the hoovering. They are such slaves to the agenda, such slaves to the system that they tend to all work off of. This is why people continue to get hoovered. They destroy the relationship. They forget all about that, because truly in you leaving, in the moving on to a new relationship, in that whole process of them targeting someone new, developing a fake person, mirroring this new person, all the new lies. There is a buzz in this. This is a pretty big buzz for them. In fact, you may remember when you first met your narc during that love bombing phase, they were just bubbling with excitement, enthusiasm. They were overwhelmed with love. You were the greatest thing that ever happened to them. And in that fleeting moment, that is real for them. They're lying again. They're creating a new mask. They're developing a new fake self. This is very exciting for them. We all know where this is going, and it's never going anywhere else. Lately, I've received a lot of emails, victims, my fellow victims, my friends, my fellow human beings, just desperately sad, desperately longing for the narc, missing the narc, believing you're still in love with the narc. Now, at this point, I gotta say, we need to really start thinking critically. You need to really ask yourself, are you willing to spend the rest of your life in this cycling repetition of bullshit? It was me having to say, stop. I need to take a look at this. And me really critically thinking about what was happening. I had been in this constant repetitive looping cycle. It didn't matter what happened. It didn't matter how big, epic, or catastrophic the chaos was. I'd get it smoothed over, and it would just happen again and again. I mean, you have to at some point ask yourself, why am I doing this? What is it about this that I believe I love? I came to realize for me, my love was precious. My love was special, and I wanted to love a real human being. The fact that Trevor didn't even exist absolutely cut the soul ties. I realized that it really wasn't possible for me to love an illusion. Your love is precious too. I'm Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV. I hope you're having a great narc.